Hello, hello, my lovely Leaves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina, and I'm going to be doing your read for the upcoming week. I'm going to be doing weekly reads now for all of the signs. Please, please, please give me a like, share, and subscribe if this resonates with you. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm restarting third time the charm for YouTube, so love to get out there. So any help is welcomed. The shadow, the poet, the thread, the animal, and the prayer. So when I was starting shuffling for y'all, when the prayer popped out, the Aerosmith song "Living on a Prayer" popped into my mind like hard, like jumped in there and jammed out for a second. So if that song resonates with you, definitely give it a check. I don't know, but it does kind of feel like that. Like I'm this commitment to this idea that you're holding on to. I mean, the prayer is the idea of manifestation, right? So, like something that you really, really want. The animal is loyalty and, being attentive to what you're loyal to, and I just kind of feel this like intensity leads around you. I don't know if it's coming from you or from another person because I feel like there's this kind of like push and pull a little bit. The poet is the idea of like taking something dark and turning it into something beautiful. The shadow is just kind of like this is where all of the nasty lurks. And the thread is a connection. It's just kind of this idea that you've got a connection that helps you to get through the dark times. And so I kind of feel like Leaves, especially with this song of "Living on a Prayer," it's just kind of like this, but we're connected, we're meant to be together. This is what we wanted, and nobody's perfect, and everybody goes through hard times, and can't we overcome this? I'm living on a prayer here, that's what it feels like. Leaves, so obviously take this how it resonates. You could be on either side of the story. You could be reaching out to a person and expressing these emotions or ideas, or somebody could be reaching out to you and expressing these emotions and ideas, but wherever it's coming from, oh buddy, is it like intense and, just, I feel like this, and this won't apply for everybody, but I feel almost like this like idea of like love bombing, like when you experience this point of desperation, like everything that I want and everything that I long for, and this is all that I have, like this sense of like romanticized dependency, is kind of what I like. But it's just like this idea of, like wanting something really, like the energy here is very, it's big, it's passionate, but it's like almost all consuming. You know what I mean? Like it feels all consuming in a way that feels like maybe just like a touch to the side of the extreme of it all. Like maybe not, maybe, and I know my Leaves they love the attention, they're like, yes, pour it down on me. You know what I mean? Like I am that bitch, so obs. And I love my Leaves so much for that. But like also, sometimes it can attract, because of your, like I was Leaves, sometimes you can be very indecisive, right? It's just kind of like an attribute of being a Libra. And I feel like part of that, like extremes that you may be experiencing is that I only want your attention if you are obsessed with me. So you attract people who will like be obsessed with you, but like what does that mean in reality versus what does it mean in your head? You know what I mean? Because I feel like there's this idea of like being loyal to an idea, that's very like you've created this, fantasy in your head. Sorry, I'm like, I don't like, I feel it's very negative, but like also, it doesn't have to be Libras. It could be that you're dealing with somebody who you are just very connected to you, who inspires your creativity, who, like helps you to see through your shadow and work your way around it. And that there's some, like somebody who you feel like is just like they're an answer to your prayer. It probably depends on my Libras. Like I've got a slew of Libras in my life, some who are in the shadow state of existence and others who are in the light. So, take what resonates and leave the rest. But either way, whichever side of the Libra experience you're on, I do feel like there's just this idea of like their justice needs to be brought to this situation. It's time for you to really, figure out which direction you're going is kind of what I want to say, and whether this is a positive direction, or, like a parting of ways, I don't really know, but it's just kind of the idea that like, I feel like the justice, like the shadow is being called into question. And I feel like that's where this desperation is coming in of this, like this romantic, like living on a prayer and all of this passion, you know what I mean? And I feel like for some of my Libras, it could be that this person or that you or however this emotion is being expressed, that it is coming from a shadow side. And that, like when judgment is passed, like it's past that, like, like this is straight up toxic behavior, you know what I mean? And like, maybe check yourself and see what it is that's so toxic about you that you would be drawn to that toxic behavior in other people. If for those of my Libras who aren't dealing with like extremely toxic relationships, the shadow could just be your own fear, right? Like I know that I need to bring justice to my fear. Like we all experience fear at some point in time, and that's okay. But sometimes we just need to like sit with it and face it. Like our shadow side isn't there to be afraid of; it's there to be integrated with us. And I feel like maybe there's a part of you, Leaves, that's really afraid of love. You have experienced that toxic relationship in the past. The one that's like all consuming and like everybody knows. Like anybody who looks at that couple is like, yeah, they're one of those types of people. And yet. Like because you came out of this toxic relationship, you now have a fear of any type of drastic love or big love or shows of like gestures of romantic, like showing romantic gestures or making the romantic gestures. Like you have a fear of that. And so you're avoiding it, because you're just like, I'm living on a prayer here. I'm hoping that this comes to me, but like, I can't do anything about it because the very idea of it horrifies me, And I feel like there's kind of this idea that it's time for you to really kind of move past this. Whether it's time for you to move past this, like toxic stage of a relationship, whether it's time for you to move past a fear that any relationship will become toxic, if it exhibits passion, like however that resonates for you. But I feel that's really time for you to really move past that, and like follow your intuition. And then we have the Three of Wands here. This is a trip card, Leaves. For some of you, it could be that like in an attempt to really create this living in a prayer environment with you, with this relationship, that you're going to go on a trip together. For my other ones, it could be that you're going on a trip, and or you're inviting somebody to go on a trip with you, and you like you were avoiding it because you didn't want to be that person, and yet you're like, well, okay, like there's that fear. Like, does fear negate the reality of an experience? You know what I mean? And so it's just kind of one of those things where, some of my Leaves, I feel like you're going to try and save something. For other of my Leaves, I feel like you're going to try and overcome a fear. But yeah. Okay, so there aren't a lot of cards here for my Libras. Sorry, let me, pull some more cards for y'all. See what else we can get. This is a pretty strong message that came through, so. We have Seven of Wands, Justice, and the Two of Swords. Yeah, I mean, this is really having to kind of make a decision. Going within, I think, find justice, like, because ultimately, Libra, whether you're, like, low level in the land of shadow toxic relationships, or if you are high vibing in, like, the land of the light, either way, you have to make a decision for yourself, right? I need to make a decision to, you know, if I want a healthy relationship, then I have to be a healthy person, right? Like, if I want to bring, like, you can say it's their fault and they did this and they always do that, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, you just allow for it to continue. No, you attract relationships like that because that's how you yourself are. You know what I mean? Like, so you are the one who has to make the decision to bring justice to this, right? And, and for my other leads, it's kind of like, you're the one who's facing your fear. You're the one who's facing your isolation. You're the one who is, like, having to kind of decide, like, which path do I want to take? Because you don't have to take either path, but, like, you have to make a decision for yourself about whether or not to, like, exist in your fear or to overcome your fear, and to bring justice to whatever concerns or fears that you may have. So let's do one more card for my leaves. And we'll call it a read. Okay. This stone, because you're anchored in the self at the bottom of the deck. You're anchored. You are the anchor. You are your own anchor. You are needing to come back to you. And coming back to you is either going to, like, alienate a toxic relationship or pull in a healthy one. But you are the ultimate decider of that situation, right? It's you, not them. Love you, leaves. I hope this resonates with y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please, please, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. I will be doing weekly reads, so join me again. Bye.